for the book club because I was like, wait, is it at 2? Yes, it is. And I also feel weird because I don't have a book to hold because I listened to this one. So I have my, I have my app over here that I listen to the book on with all my notes in. And that's how we're going. All right, let me get the chat on here. Hello and welcome. If you're watching the replay of this, thank you. You're just as much of a part of this, even if you're not contributing live. Thank you for being here. So Jim is actually going to contribute from off screen today. He's gonna take Scarlett out real quick, and then he listened with me. So we go on a lot of car rides and we listened to this book together. So we call Scarlett Monkey sometimes. So I'll wait just a minute and then I'll jump into it. Basically, I listened to Frozen 2, Dangerous Secrets. Hello, Amanda. Happy Palm Sunday. And let me know if you listened or read it, if you did either of those things. And I like to just go through and do the little digital bookmarks and type a little note. Sometimes I'm listening and I type something kind of random, but I know what I mean, hopefully. So we'll go through those today, but I would love to just know what you thought about this book overall. Did you like it? Amanda read it. Okay, so I'm an honest girl, and this was not one of my favorites. I have to say, like, every book we've read so far has fortunately been a good book. There was no book that I absolutely dreaded and regretted reading. I think, you know, they've all been okay, and this one was just okay for me. I had some parts I really liked. I really liked kind of hearing the idea of the story in between for their getting to know each other and what happened kind of before Anna and Elsa, especially since we got to see in Frozen 2, you know, just that whole world that was kind of like hidden, and you know, the Enchanted Forest, and just getting to know more about that because I love Frozen and Frozen 2 so much was really fun. But I didn't love some of the things that this author used, and maybe used too much in my opinion. Overall, I thought it was good. I just wanted it to be a little different. As a fan, I kind of wanted some different answers. But it was okay. It was good. What did you think? If you read it, did you love it? Did you like it? Did you not really care for it? Let me know. So, Jim, would you like to give us your feedback?
I thought it was interesting, like, hearing about how they met once they got to Arendelle, because they didn't really go into that in the second movie.
Scarlett's growling at me.
And also they kind of gave Peterson, like, a character.
Kind of built him up a bit.
Yeah, like where he was literally just like a transitional character, just to be like,
yeah,
you know, here, and either introducing someone or giving a minor piece of like exposition.
Yeah. So you did like it?
Or I liked that part of it.
Okay.
I thought that was interesting, and that was good for the book. There was like the one character and one subplot that I thought was like.
Well, don't jump into anything too much here.
Yeah.
Let's just get a little initial.
Yeah, I liked seeing them like really meet, and like how their relationship formed. You know, the start of it.
Scarlett's in a mood. She growled at me to get up here, and then she growled to get to Jim.
She's hungry.
Oh.
It is that time. I'll go feed her.
Okay. Thanks, bud. So, I would like to say hello back to Jessica. Amanda thought it was okay, liked her in the background, was a little sad. Yeah, especially the end was real sad. Sorry, guys. Anjali said, I'm curious if the backstory was already built out. She loved it. You know, I wonder with these things, like this book especially, you know, Disney creates like these stories and has so many details figured out that we don't even see. And so I'm curious about that too. I'm curious if, you know, how the author and Disney work together. I'd love to know. It's very interesting. And I'm sure it's different for each book, but for something like this, which is such a loved and cherished property, if you don't know, I don't think it's like too much of a secret, but there are certain things within Disney that Disney is very like protective over, and Frozen is one of them. When it was so popular back in 2014, a lot of the stuff, they didn't even make them Disney princesses. They were their own thing. Like, it was so special and regarded. There's just a lot of detail that goes into everything about it. All of the choices they make regarding merchandise and shows and like the music. You can see if you watch that behind the scenes thing making the film how much goes into this, more so than other movies and franchises within the Disney world. So Anjali read the audiobook and thought it was amazing hearing the actual actors read it. I really liked the dad's voice, and I could picture like his big mustache every time he was reading, and I thought that was cool. And thank you all for your feedback. Sorry, my finger. Jessica said in the acknowledgements the author gave thanks to a bunch of the Disney filmmakers and I think the creators of Frozen. How neat for that author to get to have that kind of access. And yeah. So before we kind of go chapter by chapter and like, you know, I tell you what I thought and get some feedback from you guys about what you thought about certain things, I did want to just say I'm curious if this author, you know, is like given, you know, presents this story or is given like this prompt of this time period. I'm sure that there are very strict rules that they have to work within. You know, just because they get to write these books doesn't mean they have all the freedom to really like make stuff up. So I'm imagining, this is how it works in my head. I'm not 100% sure here, but I'm imagining that these authors that get to write these books about before or after or other parts of Disney movies and stuff that we don't see, they are kind of told basically the main things, the details we don't know, and then they like fill it in. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I think they're handed this idea of like, this is what we want you to write. We want you to write a book about such and such and so and so. And then there's like, I think there's probably like a list of things ahead of time that they're like, we need you to stay, you know, between these times. Yeah. And avoid, you know. Don't mention this. Yeah. Don't invent any magic characters on your own. Right. Don't allude to anything outside of, here are some things you can wrap up. Yeah. And then, you know, they write a draft. It goes to, you know, their publisher. Then it goes to whoever's the head of Disney publishing it at Disney. Yeah. And then, you know, like, they're like, hey, this is great, but we need you to do less of this. This is all fan speculation. Yeah. We know nothing. I would assume that's how it goes, because I think the same thing, like, when I'm reading the Star Wars books, and there's so many that are now all tied in with the canon, I think the same thing, like, what's the process? And I've always wanted to ask one of the writers, like, how does that work? Yeah, maybe we'll solve that together this year, book club friends. Maybe we'll find that out, because that's kind of important. It's fun to know. We're reading a lot of these books, so I'd like to know if there's a particular process they follow or if it's like always different. So, all right, just gonna get started here. My first note was in chapter 2, and if you took notes throughout the book, feel free to drop any comment in. I'd love to see what you think and what you thought and what you have to say. So, chapter 2, I made a note that I think somebody says chocolate makes everything better, and I thought it was cute, like, oh, we're gonna, like, you know, reference these little Frozen and Frozen 2 things, and you know, clearly that's important
that's like a joke. They both love chocolate, and it just went a little too far for me. There was a lot of chocolate references, and I get it, and I feel like the author probably had a very, you know, not a lot to work with maybe in some ways, and so they wanted to, you know, go back to things that we knew about Frozen in the Frozen world, but it was just a lot of chocolate referencing, and I would have liked it to be maybe something else, or not as many references to chocolate, just personally. So here's, and we're like total nerds, so we're coming at you with some facts here, some questions, some like deep dives. Jim and I have had a conversation, and we are wondering, what is the deal with the coronation age? Because Anjali also agrees, a lot of chocolate references. It appears like I thought Elsa was kind of like, you know, she got coronated like as soon as either her parents passed, and then like it was soon after, or it didn't seem like she had to wait until a long time. But then it seems like in this book there was like kind of like talk of a, was it Peterson serving as like an advisor type leader role?
Yeah.
So we were wondering like what age in this, you know, in the rules of the Frozen universe does the person get coronated? And it seems different for Elsa and Agnar.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on that? And Jim looked up something. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, it says in the book that he had to wait until he was 21 for his coronation so he could like officially be king. And I always thought that Elsa was like crowned sometime in that next year after her parents disappeared.
Amanda said, I think she, Elsa was older when her parents died. I think it had to be 18. That would make more sense.
But I looked it up. I went to Google today to see like what's the deal like, and because I always thought she was like a late teen, but apparently, Jennifer Lee said somewhere, and it was like quoted like Jennifer Lee said that Elsa was 21 when she was coronated. So.
I thought she was a teenager.
Yeah.
So, little details, but I don't know. I care about these things. So it was interesting to me to see how they incorporated some of the main themes from Anna and Elsa's lives. Jessica said, I think there were a couple of years after their parents died. Amanda said, what's the deal? So I wanted to talk about the conceal, don't feel, don't let it show, being Agnar's, one of his like life things. So they got to have that time with their parents, so they had enough time with their parents to pick up some of these life philosophies and sayings and things that they liked. Clearly they got their love chocolate from their parents, or it's genetic, and they definitely, you know, picked up his conceal, don't feel business, which is kind of like, there's like a British thing. I'm not sure. I think
Stiff
is
upper
it,
lip.
Well, like keep calm and carry on is like an
yeah.
English thing. So maybe it's supposed to be like an echo of that in a royal sense of like, we're royal, so we need to like keep together, stay strong type business. And then Lieutenant Matthias would say, this was in chapter 4, Agnar mentioned Lieutenant Matthias would say, do the next right thing, which of course was that big song for Anna's moment. Let's see. Just knowing that, just getting to learn, you know. Hi, Tracy. Yay, Tracy's here. Just getting to learn kind of some of the things that like, I forgot about like the inventor and that, because that
was
like
the whole subplot that I was like.
Oh, okay. You could have done without it.
Yeah, I don't think it served the story too much, except to show that she was. I mean, I think it helped flesh out Iduna's character, like that she wasn't just, you know, a pretty face. She was smart.
Gave her some skills.
But I think it was. I don't think it was necessary to have that tied with this guy that had like feelings for her. And I think that was
Yeah,
that wasn't necessary. But I want to go back on the the song
okay.
ties through. I think it was interesting that the conceal don't feel came from the father, and he was not great, and that turned out to be like not great advice in the long run because Elsa's like, nah, forget it, let it go, and then the good advice came from Matthias, who was like a decent, like nice guy, and that got passed down to Anna, and
True.
was successful advice.
You know what's also ironic is that Conceal Don't Feel is Agnar's whole life vibe, but the book Dangerous Secrets, at the end, I was like, oh, this book is about Iduna's secrets, which are that she saved him, that the daughter has magic, and that she's a Northuldra.
Yeah.
So, really, it's like she's concealing and not feeling, you know?
That's true, yeah. Good point.
So, it might have been his verbally, but she was like, yeah, that's
She
what I'm
internalized
doing.
it. Yeah.
There was some really cute stuff. Like I just made a note in chapter 11, like he reached out to wipe a swift tear away. It was just like a cute visual, like a quick tear running and then him like reaching it or whatever. Very interesting finding about like his mom disappearing and that whole business.
And that's left wide open.
Well, I mean, they said, you know, she followed like true love, and that was kind of like a thing for him too, but he was able to do it like within his. I mean, we already knew like the dad was like a crook monster, right?
Yeah.
Was it his dad or his?
Yeah, it was his father
that,
was
like,
the king.
Was the starter of the fight, like.
Yeah.
So.
He was not great.
Yeah.
The opposite of great.
He wasn't great. Chapter 19, I noted Agnar. People will always need something to blame for their trouble. And I was like, ooh, I felt that. Dang. But just like how I felt it coming. This is like a little later in the book, but I saw it coming when it was like the dad of the other king or whatever. As soon as he was like, oh, well, we got a great military or whatever he was saying, I was like, oh it's a setup. None of this was real. He was just trying to get them hitched. Yeah, so it was cute they included the trolls. Those are my least favorite Frozen thing. I'm like, Jim's always like, come on, the trolls. I'm like, I don't need the trolls. I don't need the trolls in my life. But, you know, whatevs. They were there. How do you guys feel about the trolls? Do you like them? I don't know. I felt like I didn't need them in Frozen 1. I get that they're part of, like, Kristoff's story, but whatever. So, yeah, so, like, chapter 23, Iduna. Oh, Anjali loves trolls. It's okay. Trolls are fine. We like the trolls. So the mom left because the dad was bad, and we just, like, already knew that. So, oh, everybody likes trolls. Tracy says they're weird. Okay. A little give and take here. So one of my favorite references was the Sir Jorgen Bjorgen because my like favorite thing is I forgot the name. Wait, don't tell me. Olaf's Frozen Adventure. I'm getting fed from off screen. I like that more than Frozen 1 or Frozen 2. Olaf's Frozen Adventure is a holiday short that premiered before Coco. It's like 23 minutes long, and it was like a big thing, and a lot of parents were like, hey, look, this is way too long to be sitting through a whole movie with my kids. Like, a short's like 2-3 minutes. And so they took it off out front of the movie, put it on ABC, and then I saw it when it came to like the ABC app or whatever. I love that. I watch it over and over again over the holidays. I just think it's so precious. I love little songs. Olaf is just so cute and innocent and darling, and it's just silly and fun. So they find in the attic while looking for, and they also mentioned the Yuletide bell.
Mentioned the Yule bell.
The Yule bell, ringing the Yule bell. So they mentioned a couple of things from that. But when in Olaf's Frozen Adventure, when they're in the attic looking through their stuff, trying to find their holiday tradition, she finds Sir Jorgen Bjorgen, and you know, you're just like, oh, what's that? And then now we kind of know, which is fun, that they either told this author or let this author, probably told this author, about that little toy who was actually made by Agnar's mom, and then was Agnar's toy, and then was given to Elsa to, like, help comfort her in her time of, like, I'm scared of my magic in her youth. So I really like that. My next note was, honestly, with the chocolate, just stop. Okay, so how cute was it that she proposed to him, and then with what was it, halo of butterflies set off by the reindeer or something?
That was like also inspired by Frozen 2, that scene where
Oh!
Kristoff is gonna propose to Anna, and he has like all the reindeer around him, and then there's butterflies and leaves falling, so it was like definitely like a Northuldra like proposal tradition or something.
Yeah, that's a good point there. I like that. What's kind of fun about these traditions in the like Northuldra, and then it made me think of like, what's his name? Flemingrad or whatever. Flemingrad from, because Kristoff talks about like the trolls traditions or whatever. Anyway, the traditions of Frozen are just like silly and weird and cute and have to do with like nature and all that weird stuff. Like Flemingrad's weird because he's like a little troll with like ear stuff, and it's weird. From Frozen, Lost Frozen Adventure. If you know, you know. So chapter 43, I noted like Elsa's more like the dad, Anna's more like the mom. I don't know why I said that, unless they said it or there was something that made me think that. So if you had any thoughts on that, let me know. Let's see. Okay, so the timing of this book was interesting, kind of like the time jumps and the parts of their life chosen to be illustrated to us. And I was a little curious about this other part because I like my movies. I like it all to make sense. And so there was this one part that I was like, I don't know if that makes sense to me. When the mom and dad are going to go off on their journey, and there's a line that the mom says to Elsa, if it all works out, like, you won't be scared of your magic anymore, or something like that. And that to me was kind of like, wait a second, because in the movie Frozen 2, she's like devastated when she finds out that her parents left to go to Ahtohallan to find answers for her. And so either she was too young and she didn't understand the concept, or that's an oopsie. But I kind of felt like it was like a total surprise to her when she found that out. So I don't know.
Yeah, because like their cover story was they were going to a wedding. They were going to a wedding at a...
Do they say that in the movie?
They said that in the book.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember them saying that in the book. I don't know, it was, I didn't love that. It just didn't, like, go together. It didn't make sense for me, so let me know if you have any thoughts on that. I noted, because, you know, important things here, that Sir Jorgen Bjorgen was considered the protector puffin. It's very important. And my last note is, okay, it was about that. If it all works out, you won't have to conceal your feelings anymore. So, I don't know, folks. This was like overall, I would say like 3 out of 5 stars for me. I really did like finding out like some of the cute things. Hi, Megan. And Cindy's here. Cindy said, I'm like you, I don't like it when there are parts of the story that don't mesh. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what we want with these, right? We want like a little bonus content, like fill in the parts we don't know, like give us a little more. So I would have liked some of them to like really make sense and click for me, like some of these little details and theories. I will tell you that Frozen 2 is like probably my favorite movie ever. It's like my top 5 favorite movies. And I still don't understand what happens. Like, I don't really understand what Ahtohallan is. I don't really know if that's her mom talking to her, I don't really know. And you know what? I like that movie so much, I don't even care. I feel like every time I watch it, it's a different ending to me. Because it's just like so, like...
It doesn't hand you everything.
Yeah, you
And
have to kind of like make it up a little.
You gotta do. I think some of the best movies that are made don't hand you everything. They bring you in by making you do the work. You are invested. You're not just handed every plot point, everything, you know, on a silver platter. Like the very first Star Wars. Again, back to Star Wars. You know, we're like the Clone Wars are just mentioned out of hand, you know, offhanded, and we're not given any information about it. And like we are aware of this huge world outside of the events that's happening here, but we're not spoon-fed everything. I think that's good in a movie.
I feel like I would have liked maybe just a little bit more clarity on, because this was, the whole movie was about Elsa going to find something. This thing's calling to her. What is it? And I feel like we didn't ever get a clear answer. But for some reason, I still love that movie, and I don't really care.
Yeah, and I don't think it was necessarily as much about what was calling her, but her journey and her choosing. You know, that it's about that. It's about her and her choices and her wanting. To her forming her own life rather than like the reasons and the specifics. And you know, when you get like real technical and like nitpicky about magic kind of stuff, it gets boring real quick. Like, so.
Well, you definitely hit the nail on the head there with the journey, because that's like the tagline for the movie. And on the merch, like, we have a Frozen 2 spatula that says like "enjoy the journey" in the drawer in the kitchen. So like I think that's what the movie is kind of about. Jim always has such good input. He learned me a thing. So I had some comments here in the chat. Amanda said it was all right, but I agree with you. And Cindy, I expect it to be a little more upbeat. This was like kind of heavy, and I know, you know, when you're watching the movies, it's a little different because the tone is changed by the music and the scenery. When you're reading it, you're interpreting it on your own, and you're kind of just like, if it's sad, it's sad. You don't hear like a little funny fiddle or something to like lighten them, you know, like it's like definitely different in your head. Amanda pointed out, similar to the Marvel movies too, where you kind of just like pick things up. And Anjali said she thinks it was her mom calling her. The scene with her mom and Atta Holland. That made me remember at the end when she like sees them in the water, I guess. She sees like a vision. Aduna sees a vision of her older daughters, she assumes, which from the explanation, of course it is, when Anna's the queen. So is it just that the water in general is like magical at Atta Holland and around the area, or like is, you know, Atta Holland is going to show you what you need to see on the water? You know, it's like, it's one of those things. Let's see. I didn't have sound effects in mine, Anjali. I did have a little bit, like, a little bit of scoring here and there. I don't feel like I didn't get all that. Let's see. We're chanting Frozen 3. I'm here for it. And Megan said, I didn't think anything could top Frozen 1 and 2. Topped it for me. Yeah, Frozen 2 was just a great film all around. We have a poster in our living room that Jim is so lovingly letting me keep on the wall, because that's just a great movie. Everything about that movie, the visuals, I love the journey. And I think you guys know, if you've been around here at all, that I kind of like natural things. I like, you know, I like the outdoors, like, to a point. I don't like love dirt under my nails or nothing, but you know, I like enjoy nature, and I'm into that kind of stuff. And then to see Elsa kind of like frolicking freely without shoes, I was like, oh, wow, like that was fun.
Yeah, everybody had like a growth arc in that movie. Elsa, Anna, Olaf.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Olaf's transition to an educated adult, intelligent, like enlightened snowman. Charmed, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Oh, you guys are fun. Any final thoughts from Jim here in the studio?
I can't think. There was something I can't remember what it was. It was something we were talking about, and I was going to interject, but I can't remember. Wah, wah.
Thanks for listening with me.
Yeah, it was. I love those movies. I like those stories. I like the world that they've built. Um, it's neat, and I like that they still. There was a couple scenes that they
Megan said Samantha.
Samantha that they pulled from the movies. There was the one scene where Agnar and Iduna are by the tree, and he's reading the Little Mermaid book by a new Dutch author, which is it's Hans Christian Andersen, who also wrote the Ice Queen story. I don't remember, but the story that Frozen is taken off of.
Tracy said she likes to hear your view as well, which makes up for Scarlett snoring while you're talking.
Scarlett, not into it at all.
Well, if you have any final thoughts, I'd love to know. And then I want to take a few minutes to talk about upcoming books, and I want to get your feedback. So if you have anything about Frozen, is it called, what is it called? Frozen 2, Dangerous Secrets?
Dangerous Secrets.
If you would like to share any thoughts or feedback on this book, anything, any questions, anything you want to talk about, drop it in the comments. Tracy said, off topic, how is Scarlett doing? We're gonna take it down for a second. Scarlett is doing really well. I'll just fill you guys in quickly. Basically, Scarlett had an allergic reaction to something last week. Her whole face was like blowing up. Scarlett is my first like official dog on, like that's my dog. So we had a dog, like my Nana's dog, but I've never seen a dog have an allergic reaction, and that's what it was. And so took her to the vet immediately because her whole face, and she had hives, like her head was covered in bumps, and we were like, what is happening? So she got some shots and she was better. The next day, the hives returned. Her face, her muzzle didn't get bad, but she had some hives again. And then the following day, she also had hives, but they went away on their own each time. We had gone back to the vet, waited like 3 hours in the car. It was not the best, but overall, Scarlett's fine. Whatever it was, she had like multiple reactions to it around the same time every day. There wasn't a correlation really to her food. We were like, food, bowls, pesticides, like, lotion, sunscreen, like what? And we really are trying to figure it out, but we have things in place now. I got Benadryl. We're changing her food over because we wanted to do that anyway, so she's in transition with her food, and yeah. Oh no, Amanda, I'm glad your cat's okay. But we love these little furry creatures, and it was rough. It was scary seeing her like that and like having no idea how to help, and I'm just so grateful that she's good. So thank you guys for caring. We got so many nice messages, and she's just a lot. I mean, I'm attached to some internet dogs, so if you're like care about Scarlett, like I get it. Like I'm showing Jim like pictures of random dachshunds that people's dogs we follow and stuff. Like we got dogs we like. So yeah, thanks Tracy. So I want to talk to you about some upcoming books I want to read with you guys. I'm hoping you'll be into this next one. I got a bunch of fiction happening here in my head. So this next one, this is like super random, but I found this book that is it's an old book. It is thank you all so much. It is an old book. It is called Pirates of the Caribbean, Jack Sparrow, The Coming Storm. It originally came out in 2006. I don't know if I would have jumped so quickly to pick it if I would have seen 2006 first. What happened was I was looking for, I have like a bunch of audiobook credits, so I'm like trying to find books I can listen to as well, because like then I know I'm definitely like there's going to be no problem with finishing it, because sometimes, and like I can't risk it with the book club. We're all coming here to read this book together, so I feel a little peace when it's in audiobook form as well. So I found this one. It was from 2019. And what they did was, I guess, take these books and make them into an audio book. So the thing I'm looking at is I thought we could just read the first book, which is The Coming Storm, and I'll link to it. And it's not that long, so I was like, I try to also like, you know, go back and forth between like if it's a longer, more intensive read versus like this one's a little shorter and like probably, you know, a little more silly, like it's pirate stuff. So the audiobook is the first 3 books. So I'm gonna get the audiobook version, but we're gonna talk about book 1 only. It is called The Coming Storm. I'll link to it. It's a Jack Sparrow pirate, early years, so like kind of sets up the storm. So if you think about it, in 2006 only, I think, what were they on, like, might have been only movie 1 at that time. I think movie 2 was 2007 or 2006. It came out and then was on DVD in 2007, Dead Man's Chest, because that was like my favorite. I watched it all the time. Anyway, so I thought that would be fun for next month. It's starting to get a little warmer. I was thinking maybe like, I don't know, are you guys headed to the beach? Because it's like definitely beach time again in Florida. Sounds like a fun beach read or outdoor, sitting on the hammock, something. Little pirate story. So then, I was thinking we would pick books for the next few months. So I need your feedback on this one. Well, first of all, what do you think of the pirate book? Let me know in the comments if you can. And the other book I was thinking for the month after, there are 2 books, and I think they're both Cinderella. I said, oh, Scarlett sees someone. Oh, she sees someone outside. Security is on the scene. It's just a neighbor. So, okay, pirates sounds great. Sounds interesting. All right, cool. The other one I'm thinking about is, there were 2 books. They're both Cinderella themed. We already read the, what is it called? Can you hand me that Conceal Don't Feel book? We already read 1 book of this series. It's in that stack on the bottom there. Ah. Yes, Tracy's here for Cinderella. Cool. We're into the pirates. Yay. Love it. So we read this one, The Twisted Tale. Now there's tons of these Twisted Tales. The Frozen one, we've read a couple different series at this point, like different fiction series. Remember that this one wasn't really like dark or anything, you know, it was like a different telling of Frozen, like what if this happened instead? And so this one is what if Anna and Elsa never knew each other, and so it's kind of like a different telling, almost makes me wonder like is this potentially what the movie could have been type situation. So there's a Cinderella book like that. It is what if the shoe didn't fit or something, like what if Cinderella's slipper, what if she didn't try on the slipper? Cindy loves Twisted Tales. Cool. So I thought that would be fun. There was another Cinderella book I was reading that the cover's really great, but then when I said the description out loud to Jim, I was like, yeah, no, maybe we don't read that. It was like, there's like, it's a kid's book, like a young author's, it's a young, is that what it's called?
Young audience.
Young audience. It's like Delphine the mouse. It's like one of Cinderella's mice. And then there's like a rat overlord I was like, okay, maybe this isn't as great. The cover had like Cinderella Castle on it and then this like little cute mouse. And I was like, oh, that looks fun. But then when I read it, I was like, I don't know, folks. So the Twisted Tale. Let's do the Cinderella Twisted Tale. So we'll do that. What month is this? We'll do that in May. So we've got Pirates coming up for April, and that is a short book. I want to talk about that. I will get you the link probably tomorrow at the latest. I will email you. I'll also put it on the book club page. I'll get you the link for that. It is a super old book. It's available on Amazon for real cheap. There's like a $5. It's like $5-ish from what I can see, but I think it'll also be on eBay. You know, maybe check the library. So some of the older books are like really expensive. This one's not. From what I can see, it's around the internets. But just remember, like I said, if you are gonna listen, The audiobook is books 1, 2, and 3 of the Jack Sparrow series, and we're just going to talk about 1. So I'm kind of excited to listen to that because book 2 is like Siren Song, and then book 3 is like something other pirates or something. So
Something about pirates.
Something pirates, some pirate ships and something. But it looks fun. It looks, sounds like it'll be a fun listen or a fun read. And I'll get these all, sent out with links so you can see the picture and the cover and everything. But I've been doing a lot of book research right now because I'm trying to get them out like either earlier or, a few books at a time just to give you guys some notice and some, time to plan and whatnot. And this book is shorter, so even if you like order it, in the next few days and get it in a week or two, it's like 100 and something pages or something, so it should be easy and cute and fun. We like easy and fun. And I had another book I want to just run by you. So one of two things I want to do, or maybe we'll do both. So last year we read, I feel like it's around here somewhere. We read the Entertaining with Disney book, and I loved that. That's my favorite book we ever read in the book club because it was a book about entertaining and theory about bringing Disney into your parties, dinners, tea parties, showers. And it was like there was a bit of reading in it. It wasn't just like recipes and pictures. Kind of had like her philosophy and then like, ideas, and I loved it. And so like every week I did a little party and for me and Jim. And that was really fun. So I was thinking about either doing that book again because I loved that meeting because we like made a dinner party and then had till Laura came on and she had done a bunch of stuff. So we just talked about it and we just like showed you the dinner party and ate and whatever. It was fun. So let me know if you might be interested in doing that book again. I know a lot of people will probably already have it or might just be interested in, I don't know, seeing more party ideas, just talking about Disney party stuff, just kind of having like a fun book club month. Or there is a Disney princess baking book that's really pretty. It has like a Belle inspired dessert on the front that's like a little tart with like an apple peel rose in it. So I was like, that's really cute. And I feel like I'm kind of like a pro make a not vegan recipe vegan. I used to think like, oh, now I can't use like regular cookbooks, but like, no, you totally can. Like I know what I use to make an egg. I know what I use to do pretty much everything else. As long as it's not like add sausage, like I'm good. But even with that, there's like vegan sausage, so I could definitely, you could just follow the recipe as is, or you can modify it and, do it for however you eat. So yeah, I did see some feedback about the, okay, cool. Down with redoing entertaining. Cindy was also, she said, I think that's a great idea. Again, very cool. And Tori said I wasn't part of the group when he did it before. So yeah, we do have a lot of new friends, which I'm really excited about. Great. Okay, so we'll work on that for now. So for sure, April Pirates, May Twisted Tale Cinderella. Those are both available as audiobooks as well for my other friends who are scared to commit to the full reading of the turning the pages sometimes. And yeah, we'll get the links out and cool. Exciting times. Cindy said there were things I wanted to do and didn't get to do them. You know what? Life's full of second chances. So here we go. Let's do it again. That'll be fun. So we'll do that later this summer. And yeah, we got quite a few books in here now. We've been doing this for a few years, so it's getting hard to sometimes pick the books because I want them to be good. I want them to be, basically either do, entertain or inform. And sometimes it's hard. So if you have any that you would like to read or you think might be good, please send them my way because I'm always looking for good recommendations. So, all right, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I appreciate you being here so much. and love chatting with you about the books, and this was fun. This was like cool. Thanks for doing another fiction book with me next month. We'll read about some pirates and stuff, and I'll see you around the internets. Until then, yay! Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Anjali. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you next time. I'll try not to be awkward as I look for how to hang up. Bye, Tori. Bye, Amanda. Bye, Jessica. Okay, bye for real.